I like to think of the classwork tab as my copy machine and my turn-in bin. Now that I've organized my classwork tab into topics, I can start to distribute assignments and materials. Let's add an assignment. I'm going to click Create and create an assignment. This is the anatomy of an assignment. We have our title, instructions, a space to add any documents or supplemental materials, our distribution information, and where we assign. Let's start with the title. I will call this Book Group Reading. I'll give a little bit more detail. Please read the next 3 chapters in your book group book for our meeting on Friday. If I have any attachments, like a document that I've created for students from my Google Drive, a link to a website, a file, or a YouTube video, I can attach that now. For this assignment, I'm not going to add any attachments. So I look at the distribution information. Who do I want this to go to? Again, if I teach multiple sections of the same subject, I can assign this to multiple classes. I'm just going to assign it to the class I'm currently working in. Then I can decide if this goes to all students, one student, or a small group of students. Once students are enrolled in my class, I'll have a list of student names underneath all students. Points. If you are using the grading feature, points is a great option. You might decide that you want to change the amount of points, which you can do. You can also indicate that this is an ungraded assignment. Due date. Sometimes we might say no due date on an assignment, but it's also really helpful for students when we do set a due date. Since this is due on Friday, I will go to Friday and indicate that. When students log into their classroom, this upcoming due date will be shown on the left side of their stream in that upcoming section. This is the part that's really important for organization. Topic. I want to make sure that I add this to a topic so it's organized for students. I can click Topic. If there's a topic that I haven't listed prior, I could create it now, but I'm going to add this to this week's work. I'll click this week's work. I don't have a rubric to add for this, and I can decide to assign it now, schedule it, save it as a draft, or I could say, forget this assignment. I'm going to assign it now, but I want to talk about the schedule feature. The schedule feature is a great option if you are doing all of your lesson planning the night before, or you're doing your lesson planning on the weekends, and you don't want students to be able to view an assignment before you're ready for them to see it. I could be working on a Sunday night at 11 p.m., and I don't want my students getting notifications that I've posted something to the Google Classroom. So I could schedule my post for Monday morning. Or if it's an assignment that students are going to be working on Thursday, I can assign that for Thursday. Right now, I'm going to click Assign. Now I see that underneath this week's work is our book group reading assignment.